So however, yesterday I talked about the Kali carbonicum. So Kali carbonicum is a medicine which belongs to the Kali carb. Day after before yesterday, we talked about the Kali group as also the medicine of the Kali brome. So the weakness usually characteristics of the potassium salts is seen especially in this Kali group. So Kali carb is a medicine which is, it contains the Kali and also carbonicum. So you will get it. The both it contains the, especially in this, the soft pulse contains coldness, general depression, and very characteristic stitches are very common to the Kali carb patient. Okay. So soft pulse is very important. There are all complaints, aggravation due to the cold weather, cold things is another, coldness is another, then another is general depression. So in case of the general depression, we can think of the Kali group because Kali medicine which acts on the nervous system. Very characteristic, there is the stitching pain, okay, in the Kali group medicines. So most of the stitches in any part of the body is very characteristic, which may be felt in any part of the body or in connection with any affections. Okay, so sometimes we may get it either in the muscles or in the bones or in the joints or in the back, so or in the any glands also. Usually Kali group also acts on the gland at the same time other parts of the body, so which may be felt in any part of the body and connection in the affections. All Kali pains are sharp and cutting, nearly all better by the motion. So better by motion to some extent is like that of the Stux and Calcutta floor. So better by motion. Never use any salts of potash where there is the fever. So in case of the fever, where there is no salts, potash and the fever, sensitive to every atmospheric change is very characteristic symptoms of the drugs. So very sensitive to every atmospheric changes and intolerance to cold weather. Okay, to atmospheric change, sensitive, the cold aggravation is very important, and intolerance of cold weather is also another very important. Actually, the fields of Kali group, Kali carb especially, aggravation from the cold weather. One of the best remedies following the liver, daily mebola. During the liver, it is a very important medicine. Where there is the pain, especially in the back, during labor, or even in the uterine region, stitching pain are very important of the Kali carb. And second thing is the miscarriage for consequence in debilitated states. Early morning aggravation is very characteristic. Okay, so most of the time what we will find that the Kali group may early in the morning aggravation, somewhere it is aggravation between 2 to 6, 2 to 4, 2 to 3 or 3 to 5 like this, or 4 to 6 like this. So on the basis of these modalities, we can think of the Kali group of medicines. And early in the morning aggression, the fleshy people are very prone to this with dropsical and paretic tendencies. That is the sweat, backache and weakness is also there. Excessive sweating, backache and weakness is there, and there is the throbbing pain. Tendency to dropsy is also another very characteristic symptoms of the Kali group. Okay, so the dropsy you will find in any part of the body. It may be the eyes, it may be lower extremity, it may be in the hands and other parts of the body, and so on. And tubercular diathesis is there, pains from within out, and stinging characters is also very characteristic symptoms. Stinging pain in muscles and internal pulse are very important. Stinging pains in muscles are very important and internal part of the body. So twitchings of the muscles is also another characteristic symptoms. Pain in small spot on left side, hypothyroidism. So another pain in small spot on left side of hypothyroidism and coccygeal tissue. ठीक है ना. देन इसीलिए काली ग्रुप में हमारा ये सब बेसिक कैरेक्टर हम लोग मिल जाते हैं, ठीक है ना. द मॉडलिटीज, एक्शन एंड अदर पार्ट्स एंड वेरी पिकुलर थिंग्स इज फाइंड. अगर माइंड देखा गया तो माइंड इज देयर द डिस्पॉन्डेंट, alternative moods are there, very irritable, full of fear and imaginations, very irritable, full of fear and imaginations, anxiety felt in the stomach, sensation as if bed were sinking, never wants to be left alone, never quiet or contented, obstinate and hypersensitive to pain, noise and touch. So, we will find it, especially Kali group, that despondent, alternative moods are there, very irritable, full of fear and imaginations. ये लोगों की इमेजिन फुल ऑफ फियर, डरे हुए हैं, and imaginations. Anxiety is felt in the stomach. Most of the time खाना खाने के उसको गैस हो जाता है. Whatever may be they taken, usually they use to take either food and drinks, even the water also converted into gas. This is very peculiar symptoms of the Kali group. Okay, Kali Carb is there. Never quite or contented, obstinate and hypersensitive to pain and noise and touch is very another characteristic symptoms of the Kali. They are very hypersensitive and the pain, especially to the pain, touch, noise and anything else. So Kali group is very sensitive. ठीक है ना. Another thing is, if we see the head symptoms is mostly from vertigo on turning the head, usually like the cona maculatum, ठीक है ना. So vertigo is also there, cona maculatum is also there, and vertigo like this. Headache from the riding in cold wind, headache comes on with yawning, ठीक है ना. This is very important symptoms of the drugs. Headache comes on with yawning because of the headache, very stitches in temples, aching in occiput, one-sided headache with nausea, on riding and in carriage. So huge feeling in the head, great dryness of the hair, fallout, great dryness of the hair, falls out, fluorication. Okay. Next number the eyes, stitches in eyes, spots, gauze and black points before the eyes. So stitches in the eyes, spots, gauze and black points. So आंख में हमेशा कहते कोई black spot दे रही है, gauze and black points रखेंगे before the eyes. Lids stick together in morning. सुबह क्या होता है, आँख जो ये हो जाते बंद हो जाता है. Swelling over upper lids like the little bags. So eyelids में there is the swelling, upper eyelids, swelling of the glabella between the brows, eyebrows. So वहाँ पे भी swelling दिखती है. This is the so swelling is a very characteristic. Edematous is a very characteristic symptoms of this Kali carbonica. And they are the weak sight from excessive sexual indulgence, unshutting the eyes, आँख बंद करने के लिए weakness, painful sensation of light penetrating the vein. So painful sensation of the light penetrating the vein. So light penetrating करने से तकलीफ होती है. Ears, stitches in the ears, itching, cracking in the ears, and ringing and roaring in the ears. This is another characteristic symptoms. So itching, cracking, ringing and roaring. So इसलिए these are the ears का एक problem हो जाता है. Most of the time, that's why they usually put their fingers into the ear. Okay, they usually put the finger into the ear and they usually put mostly itching, as because there is itching, so they are doing this type of words. So cracking, ringing sound and roaring are there in the eye, in the ears, and all complaints usually aggravates during the cold weather. This is another character. Nose, the nose becomes filled with stuff in one room, thick, fluent discharges. Okay, yellow discharges, post-nasal dropping is very important. Spigillia. Okay, post-nasal dropping is very characteristic symptoms of the spigillia. The nose becomes sore, scurfy and nostrils, bloody nasal mucus, crusty nasal openings, nosebleed on washing face in the morning. Okay, So early in the morning, if there is any nosebleed, we must think of this drug. And haze in the morning, ulcerated the nostrils become ulcerated and nosebleed is there. Mouth, gums are separate from the teeth. Okay, the gums are usually separate from the teeth, and they are the pus oozes out from the gums. There is the pyorrhea and there is apathy. Tongue becomes white. Usually, this is a very characteristic symptoms of the kali carbonicum. ठीक है ना? Usually, the tongue and the discharges are usually white. Much saliva constantly in mouth. Okay, and bad slimy taste in the mouth is there. Then if we see the throat, we must see large and difficulties to throat becomes dry, parts rough, sticking pain as from a fish bone. Usually गला में हमेशा किच-किच होते हैं. Swallowing difficulty है. Food goes down to the esophagus only. Okay. Mucus accumulation in the morning. So wants to be hot every day. Stomach, flatulence, desire for the sweets, very important. Feeling of lump in the pit of the stomach. Okay. And gagging, dyspepsia of the old people got dyspepsia, burning acidity, bloating abdomen, and gastric disorder from the eye disorder. So any gastric disorder from the eye disorder, cold, you can think of the kali carbonicum. That is the sour eructations, nausea, better lying down, constant feeling as if stomach were full of water. Constant feeling as if stomach were full of water. So, as if stomach were full of water, sour vomiting, throbbing, and cutting in the stomach. Okay, disgust for food. इस लोगों का food disgusted है, anxiety feel in the stomach, and epigastrium very sensitive externally, easy choking when eating, epigastric pain to back, and so on. Abdomen, stitches pain in the region of the liver, all chronic liver troubles. Very important symptoms of the drugs. Old chronic liver troubles with soreness in abdomen, jaundice and dropsy, and distension and coldness of abdomen. Very another characteristic. Pain from left hypochondrium is also another important symptoms of the drug. Though through abdomen must turn on the right side before he can rise. Okay. इसलिए जब भी कोई सोते they have to be turn on the right. They cannot lie on the left side. Rectum, large difficulty stools, is full loaded with the stools, stitching pain in the hour before the stools. There the hemorrhoids, large swelling painful, itching ulcerated pimples around the anus. So mostly around the anus there is a large, small ulcerated pimples around the anus, and then the hemorrhoids when coughing, burning in rectum is there, and anus, easy prolapses. ठीक है ना? Calicar also have some easy prolapses. Graphitis, orophyllum is there. Itching is there. That is ignition also. Urine obliged to rise several times at night to urinate. Obliged to rise, and the patient has to awaken at night to urinate. Pressure on the bladder long before urine comes. Pressure on the bladder and long before when urine comes. Involuntary urinations when coughing and sneezing, etc. So this is another characteristic symptoms of the kali carb. So either several times night he has to awaken and has to go to the latrine or urination for the to urination, especially when it has been found that when he coughs, the problem starts. Even the sneezing also causing the ejaculation of the so and so. Males complaints from the question. इसको क्वेश्चन में aggravation है. Deficient sexual instinct, ये लोगों के जो sexual desire है वो कम है. Excessive emission followed by the weakness. So इसमें और क्या देखेंगे? Emission which is followed by weakness. एक बार emission होने के बाद उसका weakness चालू हो जाता है. Females menses early, profuse. So like the calculaca, the early menses and profuse menses like the calculaca. Too late, pale and scanty, with soreness about the genitals, pain from back passed down through the gluteal muscles. इसलिए ये मेडिसिन में एक चीज़ देखना मिलते जो बैक एक जो होते उसके साथ साथ पेन होते that goes to the downwards towards the leg and to the gluteal muscle, then hamstring muscle and so and so. With cutting abdominal pain through the left labium, extending through the abdomen to the chest, delayed menses in young girls with chest symptoms of ascites. Okay, chest symptoms in ascites. So this is one type of fluid collection also from in this case. Difficult first menses and complaints after parturition. Most of the time देखा गया कि ना डिलीवरी होने के बाद उनका पेट में दर्द होते हैं, स्टिचिंग पेन होते हैं, very complicated हो जाता है. Even uterine hemorrhage, constant oozing after copious flow, constant oozing after copious flow, especially after delivery, with violent backache relieved by the sitting and pressure. Okay, so pressure सारा मिलते and heat सारा मिलते. Respiratory system, that the cutting pain in the chest, what's lying on the right side. Okay, so pain and cutting pain, chest pain, hoarseness and loss of voice, dry hard cough about 3 a.m. with stitching pain and dryness of the pharynx, stitching pain and dryness of the pharynx, bronchitis is there. Whole chest is very sensitive. Okay. The whole chest is very sensitive to touch and mostly expectoration scanty and tenacious. काली वाइट में क्या होते हैं यूरिश यहाँ पे यूरिश नहीं है white type of discharges are there. Exploration must be swallowed, cheesy taste, copious, offensive, lump, coldness of the chest, wheezing, cough with a relaxed vulva and so on. Tendency to tuberculosis और एक शब्द This colic by carb patient usually tendency to tuberculosis. Constant cold taking, better in warm climate. Also another thing. So another thing is heart symptoms, sensitivity of heart rate suspended, and palpitation and burning in the heart region, and so on. Weak rapid pulse, intermits, rapid pulse due to the digestive disturbance, threaten heart failure, back breath exhaustions after sexual excess or after overwork or after delivery. Shows stitches in the region of the kidney and the right scapula also there. Smaller back feels weak, stiffness and paralytic feeling in the back. Okay, stiffness and paralytic feeling in the back. Or burning in spine. Okay, burning in the spine. Severe backache during pregnancy and after miscarriage. Hip disease, pain in knees and thighs and hip joint, lumbago with sudden sub pains extending up and down and to the thigh. Most of the time ये देखा गया the pain goes ups and downs and to the thighs. Back and legs give up, uneasiness, heaviness and tearing of the limbs and jerking is there. Okay, tearing pain in the limbs with swelling, limb very sensitive to pressure. White swelling is the knee, tearing arms of the shoulder, joint to wrist and tips of the toes and fingers are very painful. Soles very sensitive. Itching of the red toe is very characteristic symptom of the drugs. So we will find it, toes very painful, sole very sensitive, pain from the hip to the knee joint and pain in the knees is another characteristic symptoms of the drugs. So if we see the burning as from the mustard, plaster, skin में से फीलिंग होती है. कभी कभी जो मस्टर्ड में तो सरसों का ये लगाने के बाद पेस्ट लगाने के वजह से फीलिंग होती है, ऐसा फीलिंग होता है. स्लीपी, ड्राउजी आफ्टर ईटिंग, स्लीप, ड्राउजी आफ्टर ईटिंग. सो खाना खाने के बाद ड्राउजीनेस, wakes about 2 o'clock and cannot sleep again. इसलिए जो लोग नींद टूट जाते हैं 2 o'clock and cannot again go to the sleep, उस लोगों में. Okay, modality worse after cohesion is very important symptoms. Worse after cold weather from soup and coffee in the morning and 3 o'clock is very characteristic symptoms. Lying on left and painful side is also another characteristic symptoms of the drug. Painful side में सोने का and left side. Better in warm weather. गर्म घर में सोने से उसका आराम मिलती है. Though tough, moist during the daytime. while moving about. Okay, so चलने फिरने से उसका आराम मिलते, वॉकिंग में आराम मिलते, relationship complementary to the carbohydrate and so on. Usually the carbohydrate is used for in case of the lower vitality. Preliminary course of carbonaceous recommended point, kali carb would come to the helpful, follows maximum caffeine in stomach and bladder troubles. So kali carb में बेसी पेन है and acidity है. So ये 11 comes इसमें क्या होता है maximum के stomach and blood troubles are very important. ठीक है ना? So gouty nodositis में kali salicylate के नाम, kali salicylate. Pregnancy article से kali salicylate के नाम है, ठीक है ना? Kali cytochrome Bryce disease में है, kali ferrocyanidicum ग्लासोल and ferrocyanidicum physical mental prostration following infection है. So there are so many other drugs are there. Calipicronidicum, calipicricum, jaundice में यूज होते हैं, calittartaricum, paraplegia में इस्तेमाल होते हैं, calitellurium, गंडी के order of breath इसके लिए इस्तेमाल होते हैं. Also can compare these drugs with the calcium, ammonium phosphoricum, phosphorus, lycopodium, bryonium, and testosterone. So then question comes about the antidote. The camphor and coffee are usual antidote these drugs. Okay. Next is the another thing. Somebody prefer the lower potency, somebody higher, and somebody 6 but this medicine should not be very often on, should not be repeated. Even especially in case of tuberculosis or in the bright disease, if it is very repeatedly, frequently repeated, sometimes it has been found that there may be some aggravation. So we should be very cautious while prescribing it. And those who are the tubercular patient, in that cases, we must think so many times to prescribe the Kali Carb. Okay, thank you. Read other books also. Okay, bye.